We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? You're enjoying your leading edge place? The right answer is yes. You said, I will go forth as the furthest most extension of that which is source, and I will express myself in a variety of ways with so many others, and out of that new combination of perspectives and intentions, desires, perceptions, preferences, beliefs, out of that combination of approaches to life, I believe that I will receive, you said, a very unique perspective that will have summoning quality. You knew that in whatever way you gained your perspective, that within that perspective would be personal, selfish preferences emanating from you in every moment. And you knew, because you understand the laws of the universe, that those emitting preferences would have summoning power, and that what those preferences would summon would be source energy and all manner of assistance. In other words, you knew that the preference, no matter how big or small, would be answered by source. And you said, this is such a good thing, because my perspective will be uniquely mine, and my unique perspective will be answered, and I will uniquely add unto the universe. And you knew that all you needed to do in order to have a really satisfying, leading-edge creative experience would be to bang around and let those preferences naturally be born, and then once they are emitting from you, to do your best to align yourself with them. You knew that the radio signal of your desire would have to be matched by the radio signal of your day-to-day thought. You might call it a belief, or a knowing, or an attitude, or a mood. You knew that when you want something, and you stand in eager anticipation of it, that you are a vibrational match to its unfolding, and therefore it unfolds with ease and grace and perfect timing. And all of this for only one reason: to satisfy you, the creator of the desire to begin with. You understood that this was a fail-safe situation, because you knew that in order to align with the energy that creates worlds, you would have to be a vibrational match with that which is your source. And you knew that that which is your source is pure positive energy. So you said, I'll go forth, I'll mix it up, I'll consider this and that, I'll come to my own conclusions. They will vibrationally radiate from me, whether I ever speak a word about them or not. Words are irrelevant. It is my vibration that calls. And Source hears not my words. Source hears my vibration and answers it. And then I just have to vibrationally line up with my own desire. In other words, you have to be in agreement with you, that's all. You don't have to agree with the Democrats or the Republicans. You don't have to agree with the Baptists or the Catholics or the Muslims. You don't have to agree with anyone. All you have to do is agree with you. And even if they are not agreeing with you, they have no power in your experience. They, in all of their numbers and in all of their desire, even in its tremendous difference from your own, they have no effect whatsoever in your experience. None, not any, not ever. The only thing that ever affects your experience is you and your agreement or disagreement with you. And you have a guidance system within you that lets you measure in every moment how much in agreement with you you are and how much not in agreement with you you are. And the better you feel, the more the agreement, the worse you feel, the more out of alignment agreement you are. But that's all. That's all you have to do. Line up with you. As source energy flows through you, and as you choose a thought that allows it to flow, you can feel the power and the energy of it. You can feel the joy of it, the love of it, the appreciation of it. You can feel the interest of it. You can feel the power of it. You can feel the alignment with that which is source. And we are here to remind you that that source which you are aligning with is pure positive energy. It's liquid love. It's well-being. And it is the only source that flows. It would not be possible for you to line up with a source of evil in the way that you could line up with the source of your source, because there is no source of evil. There is the pinching off of that which is your source, And when you pinch off that which is light, you end up with dark. And when you pinch off that which is wellness, you end up with sickness. And when you pinch off that which is good, you end up with the lack of goodness, which you call bad or evil. But if you can restrain yourself, resist the temptation of calling what you don't want evil, so that you minimize within yourself the expectation that something that you don't want has the power to assert itself in your experience, for we assure you there is nothing that has that power. Then you are on the track of being aligned with the energy that is your source. And then you are more likely to allow the well-being that is natural to you to flow to you, to be your physical manifested personal life experience as you stand here in this glorious leading edge experience. It is always great fun, our favorite thing in fact, to see you consciously align with that which is you. To feel the clarity of your connection and recognize that that newfound breath of fresh air that is blowing through you is your realized connection with that which is your source. Life is supposed to be good for you. It is supposed to feel good for you. You are joyous beings. You are joy-based beings. You came forth not to fix something that is broken, but to live the joyous creative experience that is you. Think about you in your physical body on your best of days, when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you are feeling good about life and you are wanting to get out into the fresh air and romp. That's who you really are. Free of worries, not concerned about what other people are doing. It's just you and this world in which you are creating. It is a palette laid out before you to surprise and delight you in endless ways. And that fresh, free feeling is the natural state of who you are. And it is our desire, as we chew here together today, that you discover some of your own personal tricks so that you can bring yourself back into that constant alignment with who you are. Sometimes people like you come to a gathering like this, and they have all kinds of things that they are worried about, that they want to release, or things that aren't going the way they want them to go, that they're hoping to get into perspective. And we understand that you live in a physical world. You are physical, flesh, blood, and bone. You live in a material world where your manifestations are very material and seeming very real to you in that sense. And it is our desire that you are able to gather around you all manner of things that surprise and delight you. We want that for you. We are not wanting to take you into a spiritual realm where you deny the things of the physical world, because you're here in this physical world with great intent. This is leading edge stuff here. But it is our desire that you put a little more emphasis, just for a little while, on your awareness of your connection with that which is your source. Because when manifestations spring forth from deliberate alignment, those manifestations are joy-bound. But when manifestations spring forth, as they always do, from thought that you are offering, but not from thought that you are offering intentionally, but instead from thought that you are offering by default, sort of sloppy thinking, or observing what's going on and letting your thoughts be mostly about what is, then your life is not so joyful. Then you do not feel the creative control that you genius creators came forth really intending to experience. So as we are visiting with you, we'll help you to recognize that feeling within you that is your barometer that lets you know your alignment between you and you. We'll help you to recognize the power of your emotions, for we want you to understand that the emotional base that is you is the most important part of your awareness. You got to know how you feel, and you got to know what it means. And you've got to know what to do about it when it feels a way that is not allowing you to align with who you really are. Your physical wellness is about your alignment. Your physical manifestations are all about your alignment. The way your body feels and looks is about your alignment. Your relationships, all about your alignment. And your emotions tell you everything that you need to know about this alignment. So as you begin to pay more attention to the emotions that you are feeling, and you don't let them frighten you, and you stop beating up on yourself every time there's a whiff of a negative emotion, but instead you use the emotion to let you know what your vibrational content is, in the same way that you would use any meter. You don't condemn your gas gauge when it tells you your tank is getting empty. You stupid gauge, you should be on full. Instead, you appreciate the indicator and you go do something about it. You don't condemn your indicators that let you know where you are, and your emotions are your indicators that let you know where you are. Use them as the tool that they are, and enjoy them for the information that they give you, and love them whether they are joy in the moment or hate and condemnation in the moment. Appreciate your emotions because they let you know about your relationship with your source, which is everything. Sometimes we see our physical friends, especially after they have been listening to the likes of us, where you have become aware that you are the creator of your own experience, and you are aware that your thoughts do create, and you are aware that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, that your thoughts do turn to things, that your thoughts do become your reality, that what you think and what you feel and what manifests is always a match. Sometimes we see you in this awareness that you are the creator of your experience, now beginning to be afraid of your thoughts. And sometimes, especially those of you who really, really want to be deliberate creators and have even managed to get some creative control of your own experience, sometimes you are rather hard on each other as you see someone in a moment of expressing negative emotion, and you worry that the negative emotion is such a severe indicator that they've pinched themselves off from well-being that you panic, and in this moment you want to turn them from this wretched, terrible negative emotion into bright-eyed and bushy-tailed sunshine and lollipop positive emotion. And as you point out to them that they are not in a very positive place, they reach for your neck because they knew that without your affirmation of it. And now your condemnation of their failure compounds where they stand. And so as we've been observing you and watching the deliberateness with which you are wanting to get a handle on your own emotions, we want to soften your approach to your emotional awareness by reminding you that wherever you are and whatever reason you got to where you are, whatever is responsible for the mood that you are feeling is a vibrational stance that is there because you've been beating the drum of something for a while, and it is illogical, it is impossible in terms of law of attraction to suddenly shift from one very strong negative emotion to one very strong positive emotion. You're asking something that is physically, in terms of the physics of law of attraction and the vibrational nature of your universe, it's not going to happen. And when you condemn yourself because you can't turn it around instantly, you only compound the problem. And so this is our plea to you to lighten up on yourself, go easier, and don't be so ready to condemn yourself in the midst of negative emotion. And here's what we mean. So you're in the middle of something that is very strong. Maybe it's a deep depression. It might have come about because of some sense of severe betrayal, or it might have come about because of some sense of severe loss. You could call it grief or betrayal or depression. It doesn't matter what you call it, but just for sake of our story to you here, accept with us for a moment that it's strong negative emotion and it's suffocating you. You can hardly get a breath and you want it to be different, but you don't know how to change it. And in the midst of this suffocating depression, strong negative emotion, in your knowledge about law of attraction and in your knowledge of emotions, you want to do something about it, but as hard as you try, nothing much helps. You can't get to joy no matter how hard you try. And as you look around in your world and you find something that is that irritant and you focus upon it and you vent your anger toward it, you gotta admit, you feel better. In other words, that anger, while students of deliberate creation would not encourage you to have it, was an improvement in your vibration. And you know it because you feel better. You do, don't you? Now, someone who did not understand the depths of your despair, who came from a place of feeling very good, who is now observing you in your anger, might very well express to you that your anger is inappropriate. But they don't know, do they? They don't know the improved vibration that you've achieved as you shifted from despair and suffocation to anger. They don't know what a big improvement you've made. And we would like to give you permission to tell them that it isn't any of their business, although that won't help. But sometimes recognizing that, hey, I do feel better, this feels better, is the step that's necessary in order for you to reach for the next step that feels better. Because You can get from anger to frustration, but it's hard to go from grief or despair to frustration.